I want to go back to the issue of language. The language we use in this construct is the language of low-skilled, unqualified, unskilled, and this language is pervasive in the policy narrative of our immigration programs. And I know that language and labels have an enormous impact on the way we imagine people and our perspectives. Would you recommend that the Government of Canada in its immigration policies pivot from the language of low skills and unqualified workers to essential workers?
Absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm looking for some hope here because this has been a pretty devastating 2 hours to know that the country that we call one of the freest countries in the world is so systemic racism, discrimination is so pervasive in our government systems. Caregiving is a high-demand occupation in other parts of the world as well. So leaving aside the United States and the Emirate countries and Singapore and Hong Kong, can you tell us in your research, Professor Pratt and Professor Tungohan, if you know of other jurisdictions, I'm thinking of New Zealand and Australia, possibly Germany, where they do things that we should be looking at?
I think, and this is a provocative declaration, I think Germany, for example, has had mass regularization programs. A lot of the care workers who have lost status, I would argue, have lost status through no fault of their own, i.e. they tried. I know some women who've taken the IELTS test like 7 times, right? But they just can't pass it. They can't get level 5, right? Which is actually higher than some of the other permanent immigration streams. And so I think, and maybe this is not going to be possible given, current kind of political agendas, but why can't we imagine a mass regularization program for undocumented workers who are already here, which Germany has done? And I'm being provocative on purpose, but just leaving that as food for thought for all of the senators here.
I think, well, in Ireland during the COVID was an example, but I actually think Canada could be a leader here. I think we may be able to point to some isolated examples, but I think we could show leadership.
Recently announced a regularization program for construction workers, 10,000 construction workers, about a month ago. Would you recommend that a special regularization program for caregivers in this case also be explored?
Yes, I think it'd be a very low-risk regularization program. Very low-risk regularization.
I absolutely agree. I think it's low risk. I think care workers are already here. I think, I don't think this regularization program should require the care workers submit more documents in order to apply, which is the case in the TR to PR pathway. I think a mass regularization program, which is what Greece did, as you said, Senator, I think that would be to Canada's advantage. It's a win-win in my head, win-win for care workers and win-win for the families that they're working for too. Right? Like I'm a mom and I can't tell you how important it is to have care workers provide care for my children.
Thank you so much to our witnesses, Professor Tungohan and Professor Pratt. Your participation in the study, your enthusiastic participation, I should say, is hugely appreciated. We've learned